Y'all, I still can't believe this happened. Caitlin Clark got hit with the softest, most ridiculous technical foul I've ever seen in my life. No yelling, no cussing, no flexing on anybody. She bounced the ball off the base of the hoop. That's it. And boom, teed up like she threw a chair at the ref. Are you serious? And if that wasn't enough, not even 5 minutes later, she gets clobbered midair, full-on body check, with no call. What are we doing here? It's almost as if the refs wanted to send her a message. They tried to punk her in Atlanta. Instead, she lit the damn place on fire.
What if I told you that a single technical foul given to Caitlin Clark in a preseason game didn't just spark controversy? It ignited a firestorm that turned the entire basketball world upside down. This wasn't just any call. It was a moment that exploded into chaos and completely backfired on the referees in the most epic way possible. You won't believe what happened next. And trust me, this is one story you don't want to miss. Smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, and get ready to see how one fiery moment turned into a game-changing spectacle that everyone will be talking about for weeks. It all started innocently enough. Caitlin Clark, the Iowa star with a penchant for pulling off highlight reel plays, was engaged in a preseason matchup against the Atlanta Dream. The game was setting the stage for a competitive season with both teams eager to showcase their talent. But then, in a moment that seemed almost trivial, Clark bounced the ball off the base of the hoop, a gesture that, under normal circumstances, would be dismissed as a minor frustration or a routine reset. However, the referees saw it differently. Without any yelling, no cursing, no taunting, just a simple bounce, Clark was hit with a technical foul. The decision appeared harsh, disproportionate even, considering her demeanor and the context. The crowd and viewers around the league were stunned. Was this really the level of officiating the league was endorsing? Or was this a message sent intentionally, a way to police her fiery style? What made this incident even more perplexing was what happened just minutes later. Clark, frustrated and perhaps feeling targeted, was clobbered mid-air by a full-body check from an Atlanta defender with no foul called. That no call, especially after the technical foul, seemed to underscore a troubling pattern, an uneven application of rules, possibly designed to send a message to the league's brightest star. A league's apparent double standard. The reactions across social media, sports commentary, and fan forums were swift and intense. Many pointed out the glaring inconsistency. Veteran players like Diana Taurasi and current stars such as Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu often display visible emotion on the court, yelling, celebrating, arguing, and they rarely face such punitive measures. Their passion is accepted, even celebrated. Yet Clark, who has become the league's poster girl for excitement and skill, is seemingly penalised for doing what many seasoned players do regularly without consequence. This discrepancy raises a fundamental question. Are the referees applying rules uniformly, or are they influenced by a bias, whether conscious or subconscious, against Clark because of her burgeoning stardom and aggressive style? Or is it a broader resistance within the league to embrace the physicality and personality that Clark embodies, which is seen as a catalyst for increasing viewership and engagement? Many fans and analysts believe the latter. Clark's style, her deep-range shooting, her fearless drives, her confident demeanor, threatens to challenge the traditional, often sanitized narrative of women's basketball, and that makes her a target. The Pushoff controversy, a closer look. A significant part of the debate revolves around the so-called push-off move, a step back or slight shove used to create space for a shot. Critics argue that Clark is unfairly penalized for executing moves that are commonplace among other top players. The issue is not just about one call, but about the inconsistency in officiating. In basketball, the push-off or step-back move is a fundamental offensive technique. When executed correctly, it creates space and opens up high-percentage shot opportunities. But the line between a legal move and a foul can be razor-thin, and referees often call or ignore these based on context or reputation. Fans and analysts point out that in the NBA and even the WNBA's own history, similar moves are often left uncalled or tolerated, especially when performed by star players. For instance, players like Sabrina Ionescu or Diana Taurasi have executed similar step-backs or hand fakes with little to no repercussions. Yet, when Clark does it, she's accused of pushing off, drawing fouls, or being dirty. This inconsistency fuels accusations of bias. It suggests that officials may be more vigilant with Clark because of her rising profile, her shooting range, notably her deep three-pointers from 30+ feet, and her potential to inspire a new generation of fans. If true, it reflects a league that is perhaps more concerned with managing narratives than ensuring fair play. Another aspect of the controversy is the physicality applied to Clark. During the Atlanta game, she was subjected to aggressive, often borderline illegal contact. One notable incident involved her being blasted in midair by Choi Kimbrough, who stood over her with a stare that spoke volumes, a clear foul, yet ignored by the referees. Simultaneously, Dana Bonner was clearly bumped and fouled in the same sequence, but no whistle was blown. This selective officiating is problematic. It creates a perception that certain players are protected while others are targeted, and in Clark's case, it paints the picture of a league that tolerates rough defense when it suits certain players, but punishes others for similar contact. Fans and analysts argue that such biased officiating not only affects game outcomes but also undermines the integrity of the sport. If players feel they are being unfairly targeted or shielded, it impacts their performance and the league's credibility. The role of referee bias and league culture. Referee bias is a perennial issue in all levels of basketball, but its impact is magnified at the professional level. The WNBA, despite its growth and increased viewership, still struggles with perceptions of favoritism and inconsistent officiating. The finals last year, for example, were marred by controversial calls that many felt decided the outcome. In the case of Clark, the pattern suggests a league still grappling with its identity. Is it a sport that celebrates physicality and passion? Or is it one that seeks to protect its stars from any hint of controversy? The answer seems to be somewhere in the middle, often leading to confusing and frustrating scenarios on the court. Moreover, the league's culture may inadvertently encourage such disparities. Veteran players have established a certain style, often more aggressive, and are seldom penalised. Newer, more dynamic stars like Clark, who embody a blend of skill, confidence and fiery personality, challenge the status quo. The league's response, whether intentional or not, appears to be to police her style more strictly. Women's basketball and the fight for respect. Clark's situation highlights a broader conversation about women's basketball and how it is perceived and treated. The sport has been on an upward trajectory, with record-breaking TV ratings, increased sponsorships, and a growing fan base. Yet the professional league still faces challenges in establishing authority and respect. Part of this struggle stems from long-standing stereotypes. Women's sports are often undervalued, and their athletes are sometimes viewed through a lens of fragility or passivity. Clark's aggressive style, deep-range shooting, and outspoken personality disrupt these stereotypes. She's redefining what women's basketball can be: fast-paced, physical, and emotionally intense. In this context, the league's apparent attempts to police her are not just about officiating, they're about maintaining a traditional narrative that may no longer fit the modern game. Clark's rise threatens to shift perceptions, and some in the establishment may see her as a disruptor, the power of resilience and the future of the league. Despite the controversy, Clark's response has been nothing short of remarkable. After the Atlanta incident, she did not complain or show frustration publicly. Instead, she continued to make plays, hitting clutch shots, facilitating her teammates, and demonstrating leadership. Her resilience under pressure exemplifies a new kind of athlete, one who refuses to be cowed by unfair calls or systemic obstacles. This resilience is vital for the future of women's basketball. Players like Clark are not just entertainers, they are catalysts for change. They challenge outdated perceptions and push the league toward a more inclusive, dynamic, and competitive environment. Her ability to respond with class and focus under adversity demonstrates that she's not just playing for today, but shaping the sport's future. As she continues to excel, her influence extends beyond the stats sheet. She's inspiring a generation of young girls and women to embrace their passion, their talent, and their fight for fairness. The league now faces a pivotal moment. Will it continue to enforce inconsistent standards, risking alienating fans and undermining its credibility? Or will it recognise that the game is evolving and that stars like Clark are essential to its growth? Referees must be trained to apply rules uniformly without bias or favouritism. The league must foster a culture that values fairness, physicality, and personality equally. This isn't just about one player or one game. It's about the integrity of women's basketball and its future trajectory. In recent years, the league has made strides, expanding broadcasts, increasing salaries, and elevating the profile of its athletes. But officiating remains a sore spot. The inconsistent calls, especially in critical moments, threaten to undo those gains. The bigger picture. Clark's situation is emblematic of a larger cultural shift. Women's sports are fighting against stereotypes that have long painted female athletes as delicate or overly controlled. Clark's fiery personality and aggressive playing style challenge those notions. She embodies strength, confidence, and a willingness to play physically and emotionally. Her rise is part of a broader movement to redefine women's athletics, not just as entertainment, but as a legitimate, fierce, and competitive sport that commands respect. Her willingness to speak openly about officiating, her resilience in the face of perceived unfairness, and her commitment to excellence signal a new era. This shift will not happen overnight. It requires ongoing dialogue, fair officiating, and league leadership willing to embrace change. Clark's emergence offers a unique opportunity, a chance to evolve the game and elevate women's basketball to its rightful place in the sports world. A turning point in women's basketball. The incident in Atlanta may have appeared minor, a technical foul, a questionable no call, a moment of frustration. But beneath the surface, it exposes fundamental issues about officiating, league culture, and the future direction of women's basketball. Caitlin Clark, through her performance and response, has demonstrated that she is not just a talented player, but a trailblazer willing to challenge the system. Her resilience, combined with her undeniable skill, is rewriting the narrative of what women's basketball can be. As the regular season approaches, all eyes will be on how the league handles these ongoing challenges. Will officials adapt and enforce rules fairly? Will the league embrace the change Clark and her peers represent? Or will outdated biases continue to threaten the growth of the sport? One thing is certain. Caitlin Clark's story is a catalyst for change. She's not just playing the game, she's redefining it. And in doing so, she's inspiring a new generation to dream bigger, play harder, and demand fairness, on and off the court. The future of women's basketball depends on how we respond to players like Clark. Because when the game is played fiercely, fairly, and with passion, everyone wins.